The rope hissed as it fed through Alec's harness, that familiar sound of adventure. But today, something in Utah's red cliffs tugged at him with more than adrenaline. He couldn't name it. Just a quiet pull, like unfinished business calling from stone. The canyon was the same one he'd visited at 17, back when he was reckless, half-trained, and convinced he was invincible. His gear had vanished on that old trip. A harness, a chalk bag, and a lucky carabiner engraved with his initials. He'd blamed thieves, storms, even his own forgetfulness. But the truth was simpler. He never found it, and life moved on. Now, 12 years later, Alec clipped into the sandstone, his fingers brushing warm rock, sunlight cutting through narrow walls like molten gold. He came here to push limits, but also to reclaim something he couldn't define. Halfway up his chosen wall, his foot slipped. A sharp scrape. A curse. And his hand jammed instinctively into a crack to steady himself. Something cold touched his skin. He froze. Inside the crevice, wedged in darkness, was metal, battered, dulled, but unmistakably shaped. He eased himself into a hanging stance, breath sharp in his ears. With careful fingers, he worked it loose. A carabiner. His carabiner. The initials were still there. He almost laughed, but it caught in his throat. Heart racing, he reached deeper. Out came fabric stiffened by dust, an old chalk bag. Its faded stitching unmistakable. A harness frayed but intact. There it was, a time capsule sealed by stone. He remembered that day long ago, the sudden storm, scrambling for cover, slipping into a crack for safety. Maybe he'd left it behind in panic, or maybe it was fate nudging a lesson he wasn't yet ready to learn. Hanging there now, suspended between earth and sky, Alec felt 16 again, overconfident, lost, trying to be someone. He clipped the old carabiner to his harness, hands trembling. He finished the climb not for the summit, but for closure. At the top, wind roared across the plateau like applause. Alec sat alone, that old gear beside him, the moment impossibly surreal. Some things, he thought, aren't lost. They're waiting for you to grow enough to find them. He didn't keep the harness. It belonged to a younger version of himself. But he kept the carabiner. The reminder that sometimes we circle back to the cliffs we once fell from. Stronger, steadier, and ready to understand what we couldn't before. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help our channel grow.